We have leftovers from our previous candied chestnut recipe. This is the syrup and the candied chestnut, the little pieces of candied chestnut. We are going to see how we can fix this and make a jam out of it. It's going to be a pear jam. First, you'll have to weigh the syrup before it cools down and becomes solid this way. So just make sure you weigh it when it's still warm and liquid, but not too warm, of course. And then you're gonna need 1.5 pounds of diced and peeled pears for 2.2 pounds of syrup. We recommend using these Comis pear, and make sure to buy them in advance. Make sure that they are ripe when you peel them. The second important step before we start cooking is to make sure the containers are ready to be used. They need to be perfectly clean, so I recommend using the dishwasher. So when you are ready with everything, you can start heating up the syrup. And while the syrup is not too warm, we are going to remove the vanilla beans and cut them in little pieces. So make sure to do this with all the vanilla beans. Once the vanilla beans are cut in small pieces, you can put them back in the syrup, there, and you can stir, and if there are no big pieces of sugar left, it's time to put the pear in the syrup. So the syrup doesn't need to boil, it just needs to be liquid, and with no big pieces of sugar. If there are big pieces of sugar, just make sure you get rid of them by stirring. Okay, so my syrup is ready. Oh. The syrup is now ready for the pear. Once the syrup boils, the cooking time is going to last about 20 to 30 minutes. It really depends on your syrup. Basically, when you know the jam is ready, the syrup is going to be thick. So you see that now it's fairly liquid, and the pears are going to be transparent. So it will be 20 to 30 minutes. You'll have to keep stirring like this to make sure you get all the sugar and it doesn't stick to the side of the pan. So in the end we needed at least an hour for the syrup to cook, and you see now the pears are starting to be transparent and the syrup is a little bit more liquid, a little bit thicker. So we'll probably have 5 more minutes of cooking time, so I'm going to add the little pieces of chestnuts into the pan. And we're going to let this go for another 5 minutes, and then the jam will be ready. So once the jam is cooked, you can pour it in the container. Make sure to not touch the container, as it will become really hot. You can pour it to the top. Oops. And I made kind of a mess here, so I'm going to clean it up with a piece of napkin. You see, you don't want any jam on the sides here, so you can clean it up. It's a little bit hot. And once this is ready, you will seal your container. Turn it upside down. This will remove the air inside the container, which is very important so that the jam doesn't spoil with time. And after you've done this, you can already turn it back. And now your jam is ready. Bon appétit!